Getting your morning started the right way with the AM Caffeine Morning Show.
It's your boy DLC, Smooth D, manning the boards for me. Of course, we have DJ Ron C on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
And of course, we're missing, what's the broad's name that rocks with us again?
Cricket.
Yeah.
Rhea Beer.
There go that yamp. Oh, no, oh, the yamp.
You hit it with an old school yamp.
Hit it with a yamp. Rhea Beer's not here today, but she'll be back next week. Today's a very special day around here, the AM Caffeine Morning Show. Today's just a monumental day in rap. Today is the release of the movie Straight Outta Compton.
Monumental.
Once again, Straight Outta Compton in the theaters tonight. And it's a biopic about N.W.A. Like, come on. Like, who would have thought a group like N.W.A. would end up with a biopic and still be just so influential?
Correct.
In rap in 2015. And I thought it would only be right to have a guest rock with us today that is part of not just the rap culture from a West Coast perspective, but for rap music at large. When you start to talk about influential rap groups, when you start to talk about groups that have paved the way sonically, lyrically, for a lot of the hip-hop artists that are currently doing it today in 2015, I had to get on the phone, dog. I had to go real old school. I went to a payphone. Like, nah, man, this is bigger than my Galaxy Note. The one and only Code 187 from above the damn law is in the building with the AM Caffeine Morning Show today.
Wow.
What's up, boy?
My friend Doc, what's going on?
Oh my God!
Me, you hit me on
I hit you on your Sky pager.
On my Sky page.
Did you see my code?
Yeah, I see
my code was 187.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Oh man, today Smooth D, Ron C. We are going to get into the history today, dog.
Y'all some fools, man.
We're going to get into the history of how important Above the Law was, still is.
No doubt.
And the contribution that Code 187 not only, putting together the group Above the Law, but it's a lot of things that folks need to understand from a production standpoint, a lot of the stuff that he did back then that is still relevant today. And I want to make sure folks understand and know what it is.
I dig that.
Code 187, that's a cold last name right there.
Code 187.
Code 187.
Yeah, Code Murderer, man.
Oh, wait! That's almost better than Billy D's Code 45.
My man DJ Chaos from Above the Law gave me that name because in the 80s I used to battle. And he used to be like, man, you be killing fools.
Be killing fools.
And the penal code, was 187.
Lay your ass down.
It wasn't even, it wasn't even popular at
right.
that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was like, yeah, you should call yourself 187. I said, you mean we got to put something with it. I just can't be 187.
I can't just murder. Right.
Cold Murderer.
Cold.
COLD. Because it was gonna be CODE like Code 187. But
right.
then I said, no, I want to be a cold
A
murderer.
cold murderer. Oh. That's come on, dude.
Starting you out with some history.
Starting you out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way better than a name like Drake, right?
I think so.
Yeah, me too. And no diss to Drake.
No doubt.
But Code 187, and he just gave it a sign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all hip hop based. It wasn't. We've been a street group. And
right.
We wanted all our names to be like street sounding, like street hustlers.
Right.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Ron C, stop.
Shots.
He busting shots. Come on, dude. It's too early to start shooting people. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
We're not in Linwood, dog.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the mix real quick with Ron C. We're going to play some classics from our man, Code 187, of course, Above the Law, the original ATL.
Rest in peace, Cam G, too, man.
Absolutely.
We bless the show, man.
Absolutely. Let's start it out. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Cam G. Rest in peace, Eazy-E.
Absolutely.
All the whole,
Oh, man, today is a legendary show.
Yeah.
The original ATL, before folks started abbreviating Atlanta.
Like that it is.
Before Georgia was hot.
Before Freaknik.
But yeah, that's there. Hold on. Hey, this will turn into a whole nother show. AM Caffeine Morning Show. Above the Laws in the building. Code 187. Ron C going to the mix. Oh, it's off the hook. AM Caffeine Morning Show. Stay tuned. Let it go, Ron C. Woo, that's a classic right there. AM Caffeine Morning Show.
BSOP.
How'd that song come together right there? Code 187.
Oh my God. Oh my man. You know, I was actually working on a record with my cat, one of my partners, HB, from San Bernardino, and we started striping the beat up. He had, I think he had the break to Cutie Pie.
Okay.
And then I came with the Hall and Note on top of it.
Right.
And then we played it back to KMG. He said, hey, man, you know, what y'all want to do with that? I said, and then my man HB was like, what y'all want to do with it? We immediately went in and cut it.
Whoa, just like that.
And that was it.
Just fucking around messing around at the house.
Right.
Messing around.
Messing around.
No, for real. We just messing around at the house. For real, you know?
And we came up with this
just,
classic.
You know, digging in the crate.
Right.
You know, and then came with that, yeah.
Wow.
Went in and cut it, yeah.
AM Caffeine Morning Show. Special day today around here, man. My man, Code 187 in the building. From the legendary rap group, Above the Law, the original ATL.
The world's most untouchable.
Oh. So
that's what we used to say, you know. N.W.A. was the world's most dangerous, and we was the world's most untouchable.
That's right. So here's what I want to do before we bring it to the present, to 2015, man. I want to go back to the origin.
All right. Let's get back.
187, man. Take me back to. Let's go back to the 89, man.
Beginning of Ruthless, 88, 89?
Yeah, first off, let's talk about how you put Above the Law together. How did all the entities come together to?
Well, you know, me, KMG, and DJ Chaos went to high school together.
And what high school was that?
Went to Pomona.
Pomona High School, what up? I used to live over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir. Shout them out.
Yeah, that's right. North side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And me and DJ Chaos used to be in a group before when we were in high school, when we was younger in high school, in the DJ crew. And actually, I was studying music and he was just doing a DJ thing. And after a while, like, I went off and, you know, was in the streets crazy. He went off and was in the streets crazy. And maybe this was like 86, 87, he counted me, said he wanted to get back into doing some music. And I already was just in the streets like crazy. And he was in the streets like crazy. Like, man, I'm tired of the streets.
Right.
Let's do something. And then at that time, you know, we reached out to KMG and he wanted to do music as well. And so we came together and then we created Above the Law, just childhood friends, you know, just coming back to the music. Because we always was in the music when we were really little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when we got in the streets, because we always in the streets really heavy in the mid-late 80s. And we came together and, like, Above the Law kind of saved us, you know what I'm saying, from, like, life in prison.
Right,
and all that
right,
kind of stuff.
right.
So we got together, we took our hustle money together and created the demo, which was Living Like Hustlers demo, which had Murder Rap on it, Untouchables, Ballin', Menace to Society.
So all those songs was on the original demo that actually ended up becoming on the album.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. Let's show it. Oh, wait, there it is.
There it is. And we added DJ Goldmac because Goldmac wrote Ballin' and Flow On.
Right.
And he was real instrumental in helping us get, you know, the deal with Ruthless Records. His brother was Slay Law.
So you finished.
It came together.
So you have this.
We actually had about 6 or 7 songs that we had done already, and then I had a bunch of ideas in my crate, and then me and Dre went in and we took Murder Rap, Untouchables, Living Like Hustlers, Ballin', Flow On, Menace to Society. Only thing we didn't have was Freedom of Speech, the last song, Kicking Lyrics. And that's the only song that me and Dre done from the bottom to the top.
Together.
All the rest of them I had already done already.
So question.
But they were from my crates. Everything was from my crate.
So from that original demo that you guys took street money from and went to the studio and tried to do something positive with, you then take that. How does that demo get into the hands of Eazy-E?
Oh, well, like I said, we were in the streets hustling with Gomac, and a good friend of ours was Dooley, rest in peace, my man Dooley. He ended up taking our demo to his brother, which was AKE, which is my hype man. You met A before,
right? Yes.
You know, he's like my brother. You know, we been from the sandbox all the way to the top. He was Gomac's running partner, and he gave the demo to Gomac. Gomac gave it to Laylaw. Laylaw set up a meeting with Eazy and Dr. Dre at Audio Achievement.
Wow.
And then from there, we used to have a boom box at Audio Achievement. We used to sit in the lobby. And shoot, if your songs made it in that boom box, you got signed.
Right.
Wow. So they played the boom box. Dre listened to it like click. I think he heard like 3-4 bars of a murder rap and was like, we signing these dudes, and that was it. So that was right before they was about to go on tour, Eazy Does It tour.
So the demo gets to Eazy. So do they call you and say, hey, you know what? We have a meeting with Eazy-E. Come to the studio. How does that work where you guys actually now meet Eazy face to face for the first time and Dre's there?
Yeah, right there. I mean, they were cutting, actually, at the time, they was cutting No One Could Do It Better.
Right.
They was cutting No One Could Do It Better album. And then they took a break, and then they came in the lobby and listened to our music and was like, we gonna sign y'all.
And that was it.
Yeah, but you know, we was out crazy selling dope like crazy in Pomona. So it's funny, in the middle of that tour, so much stuff was going on in the middle of that tour. We was making so much money in the 80s, it was crazy. We was throwing big ass parties, bashes, all kind of stuff. You know, police shutting stuff down and all that, tearing up picnics. You remember the
Yes,
time.
yes.
You know what I mean? Above the Law had a real big movement. Back then, we was called the HBC, which are Hustles Beyond Control. And then our LA clique was called the Ranch Boys. And, you know, we were all D-Boys, you know. And so N.W.A, well, actually, Dre and Law called us and said, hey, man, do y'all want a record deal or y'all want to sell dope?
Like, what do you want to do? Doing too much.
Y'all doing too much. So they called us out, you know, on the Eazy Does It tour, and they signed us. From there, it's been, then you got Living Like Hustlers from there. And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's so dope, man, is that, no pun intended when I said dope.
No. I stole a lot of it.
Yeah. What's so fly is that at the time that N.W.A. at the time that N.W.A, early N.W.A,
right,
was doing what they were doing, and Above the Law, now you guys are almost like a family.
Right.
But
yeah, we were a family. Yeah.
What Above the Law was doing was so different from what N.W.A was doing.
Right.
You guys were more on some hustler trying to get paper.
Right.
So it makes sense that you took from what was going on to the street. You just put that on. You put that on wax.
Yeah, and you know, Eazy had a great point for us. You know, he always said that do you. He didn't never want to sign somebody that were clones of them.
Right.
You know, so it fit us great because when we came in, we had our own identity. You know, and our identity was us. You know, like far as what we did on the streets, that's what we did. We got money. We wanted to be fly, but it was gangster too.
Right.
You know, because that's the climate back then. You know, so we just kind of stuck to the fold. We didn't want to come and be knockoffs of N.W.A because when it's funny, we were at a video. I think it was either No One Could Do It Better. It's one of the Doc's videos, and Eazy had us all in the room. He had us in N.W.A, and he said, you know, with N.W.A, Above the Law, and Eazy-E, we're gonna have two super groups on one label. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be big. Like it's like as the equivalent of having the Beatles and the Rolling Stones on the same label.
Right.
That's the way he looked at it, and that was his vision. His vision was for us to have the same type of aura, but be totally different, to really flip people out. You know, that was his vision. He was like, stick to what you do, because we could have easily slipped into doing some N.W.A type of record. But when we came, even the harder stuff, because we had harder stuff on the demo as well, Dre would be like, well, that's going to be more like N.W.A, and we want you guys to have your own identity. So I, as a producer, as a young producer, I kind of always kept us funky, fly, but hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
so
that was my approach.
So let's talk about that from the production standpoint. And if folks don't know that, you had so much to do with cultivating the sound sonically of Above the Law.
Right. Yeah, I was a producer. I was their producer, you know. And being a member in a group, it just was my role. It wasn't like now where everybody mustard on the beat.
Right.
It wasn't that. No, I like Mustard.
Shout out. No, Mustard's our homie. Mustard on the beat, ho.
Mustard's funky. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. You know, he keep it funky. But it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, you know, I produced a lot of stuff at Ruthless. You know, People don't know I was a ghost producer on 100 Miles and Running. I was a writer. I wrote 100 Miles and Running too. And I did all over the Above the Law stuff. You know, I did some Eazy stuff. You know, and for me as a producer, as a young producer, I always thought it was your job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was the role that I was given in my clique to handle the music. You know, so I never wanted any extra props from it.
You just thought that's what you were supposed
to do. I was
Dr.
Dre's
do.
understudy for like 2.5 years. You know, it's not. I mean, one thing about it is that what people don't know about me, my family. My dad was a writer.
Let's talk about
it.
Let them know the family, and it runs through your blood. So it was natural that you went into the production aspect.
My dad was a writer and a producer. He wrote for the Jacksons, the Commodores, the Miracles, and Willie Hutch, his brother, which is my uncle. They did the Mac together, Foxy Brown, all of his records. You know what I mean? So I come from that. I've studied music since I was like 7 years old. I play trumpet, bass guitar, and piano, you know. And I'm sick with the crates, you know, so I know everything that you could possibly. I know everything from the Beatles to Funkadelic to Bach to Tupac, you know what I mean? That's how sick I am in the crates.
Right.
You know, so that was my bloodline, you know what I mean? It was to study music when I first came up. The funny thing about it, I took Living Like Hustlers demo to my Uncle Willie, and he was like, and my dad, they're like, are you crazy?
Right.
All the music lessons. And
right. And this is what it is? Right.
But musically, they loved it. Like, but we can't take this nowhere. Like,
how do you feel, and I'm going to circle back to my original thought, but since we're on the production tip, how do you feel about sampling?
I love it. I love it to the degree when you put things in perspective and you put instrumentation over it, because I think it's a part of hip hop, like the true essence of hip hop. That's where we come from. The beats breaking, especially breaks. Right. You know what I mean? I love sampling breaks, drums, because it gives it the hip hop feel. Even when you put instrumentation over it, you know, I don't really believe in like outright loops. Right. Like where you just rip somebody, but I believe in like a
taking a little bit, taking portions of it.
Put instrumentation over it and make it yours, you know.
Now,
that's what a musician does. I mean, I think you use the sample like an instrument, like as the original DJ used to do, like he would originally use the sample like an instrument, just cuts and, you know, and that. So I think that's the element that has to stay in hip hop to a certain degree in order for it to be authentic.
So back then, when you were sampling, how did you go through sample clearances? Was it an issue? How hard was it then in comparison to now? And I think now it's probably really going to get hard again ever since the whole Robin Thicke thing and with Pharrell and all that stuff. How hard was it to get a sample cleared then?
Well, I think it was really hard back then because they didn't really respect the form of music. Okay. I think that's why it became easier, because they started respecting it as more of a real form of music. But like Living Like Hustlers, it had, man, if you look at it, we can look at it right now. You can see the samples.
A bunch of samples, right.
Almost every song. Right. But the thing of it is we had to clear everything, and it took longer. You know, the process of finishing your album, the waiting for them to come back, and if they didn't clear it, then you have to redo the record. Right, or, you know, do it with something else that may clear. You know, and I think that was the difficult part of it. And it was heavy on your pocket. That's why I only start, like, when I start getting deeper into, like, more like Black Mafia Life and Uncle Sam's Curse, I start sampling less and doing more instrumentation. But I always use breaks. Right. You know, like, in the early days, that's what I was taught. The drums or the breaks, you know, you just cover them up, you know, how best you can.
Yes, you can.
But as I start getting older and producing and doing more instrumentation, I figured out how to even make real drum sound sample sounding and the real music sound samples. Right. You know, just from the ear, you know, just listening to it more and more, listening to older records and knowing about filters and how to EQ stuff. You know, because that's when you know, the early 90s was really hard to sample. You know, it was really, really hard. I've changed a lot of records. A lot of records have came out. You think about, okay, take VSOP. VSOP has Hall & Oates and it has Fatback. You know what I mean? So that's hard.
Right.
You know
absolutely. Yeah. Right.
Two of them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But then when you start listening to like a lot of the Bad Boy stuff, it was like straight samples.
Straight
like,
sample. I mean,
like
yeah.
You know
straight ripping.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's like the mid 90s. It started getting a little looser. Now it's a little bit looser. Now a lot of stuff is more electronica. Right. You know, it's not more that authentic boom bap. You know, and I always thought like breaks sampling sometime, give it more organic feel. You know, it didn't get it robotic. A lot of things have become more robotic.
Right.
You know, with the transition, that what I end up doing was when I started doing G-Funk, which was crazy because I started slowing stuff down and making it more grimy, and then funk fly, you know what I mean? And that's how I created G-Funk.
So let's speak on that. AM Caffeine Morning Show, we're here with my man Hutch. I call him Hutch because that's the homie,
right.
but y'all know him as Cole 187. And I don't want no Cole 187 on me because I called him Hutch.
No, you good.
We're good, right? I got that pass.
You're good.
Okay, there we go. AM Caffeine Morning Show, Ron C. Can we get to a mix real quick? And then come back, because now I want to talk about the albums that were released on Ruthless, but then the transition from, or maybe from lack of a better word, the breakup of how Above the Law stayed on Ruthless.
Right, yeah, no doubt.
And then Dre, and then, you know, you have the whole Death Row thing. Like, I kind of want to get into that just so folks can understand what that is.
Yeah. Let's get it. Yeah.
AM Caffeine Morning Show. And if you don't know, Cole 187 is on this brand new, this Dre album that he just dropped, All Up in Your Mouth. We're going to play that today, too. AM Caffeine Morning Show's in the building. My man Cole 187. Pomona. You don't know about that, Ron C. Let it go. Good looking, Ron C. Playing some classics right there, boy.
Untouchable.
Man, if you guys even got a chance to hear what we're talking about off air and how some of these songs came together and some of these samples.
Yeah, man.
Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
AM Caffeine Morning Show. So, 187, real quick, I want to talk about just how many albums did Above the Law put out on Ruthless Records?
3.
So you put out 3 albums on Ruthless Records. Why wasn't there a 4th?
Well, it wasn't a 4th because that was the point where our contract was up and Eazy passed.
So your contract was up, Eazy passes.
And we didn't really know where the label was going to go, and we didn't know whether it was a safe place for us to be as artists.
Without Eazy being
Eazy being there. Because, you know, Eazy was the influence at Ruthless. There was no other influence there.
Right.
There wasn't like a big round table of nobody that influenced anybody. It was all him. And he always inspired us to do us, so we didn't know where the label was going without him. There was a bunch of new people that came, you know, his wife and a couple of her staff, and we didn't know him too well. So
right.
We just decided to, you know, pack up our stuff and keep it pushing. You know, we had paid our dues. I mean, we honored our whole contract, 7 years.
So, wow, this is probably a 2-part question. What was the relationship like with Dr. Dre at that point so Dre is now not on Ruthless, he's doing his own thing. He's kind of, so this when we bring in the whole Death Row thing.
Right.
Were you guys still cool relationship wise, even though you guys had kind of went your separate ways?
We were diplomatic. I mean, I think it was so much drama between him and Eric was really bad because it was so new, you know what I mean? And like it happened at the height of everything that we were doing. You know, like when the Death Row thing kicked off, it was real hard because like we were torn, you know what I mean? We were torn with, you know, 2 friends, you know, like, okay, do we stay with Eric? Do we go to Death Row? Because I work with Dre all the time.
Right,
you know right.
But, so your relationship was really different.
But I was 1-to-1 with Eazy because I was our group liaison. I dealt with the business part of it, you know what I'm saying? 1-to-1, it was always me and him. So everything that went down business-wise, I always dealt with Eazy. I didn't deal with anybody else. I lightly dealt with Jerry Heller, but I mostly dealt with Eazy. So it was kind of hard, you know what I mean? Creatively, I was with Dre.
Right.
Business, I was always with Eric, and it was me and him. It wasn't like I sat down with some staff of people. It was like, hey, if I needed things done, I call Eric.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you had that personal relationship with both parties.
Of them, yeah.
So what was your determining factor outside of, you know, you had fulfilled your contract obligation,
right?
And if you wanted to, could you have gone to Death Row?
Yeah, I couldn't have. I could have went to Death Row as a producer because what Suge wanted to do, because Suge was managing Above the Law, DOC, and Miss L.A. and Dr. Dre.
Damn.
And he wanted me and him to do like a Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis type thing. You know, I could have went as a producer, but my group would have been stuck because we had a fresh contract. We were only on our second actual album through Ruthless Epic, which was Black Mafia Life, and at the same time they were doing Niggas for Life at the same time.
Right.
So at that time, like because they broke up in the middle of Niggas for Life, and then the next record was coming out was Black Mafia Life, which Niggas for Life and Black Mafia Life was recorded at the same time. And that record would have gotten shelved
Got you.
You know, if I would have left and became a producer, then my group would probably
been
be
stuck.
back on the street selling dope again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Basically, by the contract, because we'd have to ride out another 3-4 years before we could make a record, actually, as above the law, and it wasn't healthy for us as businessmen.
Not like you can speak for Eazy, obviously,
right.
but at that time, in with all that going on, how was his feeling about? Now him and Dre are, you know, that N.W.A. thing isn't there. They're not necessarily cool. Everyone's like, how did he feel since he was just obviously so instrumental in the whole N.W.A. thing? Do you know what his personal feelings was about that?
The thing he used to always tell me is that he really couldn't understand like how it got like that. And he really was more crushed than, you know, people think he like beat his chest or something. He really was more crushed that he couldn't, because he didn't understand Eric. Eric was like a real passionate guy about other people having things. Also, he was like passionate about trying to make everybody happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when him seeing he couldn't really keep Dre and make Dre happy, it crushed him.
Right.
They were tight. You know what I mean? But he had to move on. Once he started getting shots fired at him, he just said, hey, he got to do him.
He got to do him.
Yeah. You know, and I understood it. I understood where both parties was coming from, because I was a part of all of that.
Of both, right.
At a point, you know. I just, you know, like I said, people think like, you know, when you're friends, like the love go when certain things happen, but it was more business than anything. No one came and took anything from my house or took my girl or nothing like that. Yeah, some ideas of music got took, you know, some artists went on that we had, like we had Snoop at first.
Right, so Snoop came, so you knew
Snoop came through our camp first. Yeah.
Right.
And then when things didn't work out between, when we were in turmoil, we didn't really know where we were going to be, so he ended up linking up with Dre, and then they did Deep Cover.
Right.
You know, which is great, you know, because me and Cocaine did a song on Deep Cover as well.
Right.
You know. So,
shout out Cocaine.
You know, we still were all together, and Suge managed Cocaine at the time too, so we all still were working together. It didn't really get crazy until the Chronic dropped, and then ideas were over here, and these ideas was over there, and nobody came to the forefront and said these ideas.
So that's what my question is. What was your feeling, since you were definitely the origin of the whole G-Funk?
Right.
What was your feeling when the Chronic dropped?
I love the Chronic, but only my biggest problem with the Chronic is that I didn't really get the benefit from the success of it.
Right.
Like, no one came and said, well, Hutch had these ideas and I was highly influenced by him. Like people say now, oh yeah, I was influenced by this, I was influenced by that. That was my biggest problem with it. It was a great record though.
Absolutely. Classic.
Yeah. I mean, but if you play Black Mafia Life and you play the Chronic, you'll see the resemblance of the sonically resemblance each other, you know, the funkiness, the vibe, you know, even a couple of the song ideas are the same. And not that we had a problem with it, because like I said, we all came up together.
Right.
So it's just, it's like if you influence me, I'm gonna say, well, Doc influenced me to do this. You know, Dre taught me how to make records, so I never will knock Dre for anything.
Right.
You know, I just know when people don't say anything, it's like omission. It's like, okay, you're not saying nothing, then you must don't care really at that
Makes
point.
sense.
You know what I mean? So I had big respect for the success that it did. I just wish I would have got credit.
For it. Makes sense. So
because they're my guys, you know what I'm saying? They're my brothers. You know, you know, in this music, I grew up so negative, like doing things. You know, when I got in the music industry, I was like, okay, I can make legal money. Let's keep it above board. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to be in odds with nobody. You know, even like the Cube thing, that was a big misunderstanding. But you know, just certain people stirring the pot turns it into other things.
Makes it bigger than what it is.
But we made peace and we good. You know what I mean?
And to this day, now you and Q, I mean, and that's that's so long ago in the past.
And a side note to what Eazy wanted, because he told me he wanted all of us to be together eventually. This is weeks before he passed. You know, he told me
so that was my question.
Yeah.
When what was your last conversation with Eazy before he passed, and where were you? And how did you find out that
I was at my studio in Inglewood, the Edge Recording Studios, where we did all of the classic Above the Law stuff between there and Audio Achievement. But that night, I was over at the Edge Recording Studio, and he just got in from New York. And he sat with me. We rolled something up like we usually do.
Right.
Good. He had the good. You know, and he was like, I talked to Cube. You know what I mean? Because at the time, it's funny because Uncle Sam's Curse was out and Black Superman was a big record at the time. And I was like, we was about to do California video. And I said, man, you know, we got to sit down. And I was like, man, this is going to be like the last record that I'm going to do with you. You know, what we going to do? He was like, well, shoot, I want you to stay. You know, and he started talking about, like I said, well, what's going on? He said, man, I ran into Cube in New York, and I want to put everything back together. He said, I'm reaching out to Dre, and we're going to put everything back together, man. You know what I mean? And that was like, and then a few weeks after that, he got sick, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And he came through, it was like late at night, just came through, pulled up, and rolled one and told me all that. And I thought it was great. I was like, man, it's going to be good. He said, I want you to stay down, man. You know what I mean? Because me, I was the type of young dude that was like, I aspired to be like Eazy. You know what I mean? Because he taught me so much. It's like I could open my mouth and say whatever I wanted to say to the man. And he was like, yeah, I want you to stay. And we're going to put N.W.A. back together, and we're going to do it like we said we was going to do it. Yeah. And that's no lie, you know. Like when you hear Dre saying it, when you hear Cube saying that's real.
That's real.
Me that. That's all. That's real. This is not about the movie or anything. That's what came out of the man's mouth. And he was my dear friend. I was with Eazy up until he died.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't to the side. I wasn't. You know, I was there right with him. You know what I'm saying? As far as I couldn't deal with being in the hospital and watching
seeing him that way
and all that, because I want my last memory to be me and him. Blowing
how you was
talking,
right,
laughing and joking, you know. Yeah.
So now, man, all that history and being part of a legendary group and being part of a sound that has really shaped, I don't want to say West Coast, man. I want to just say music,
hip-hop, man.
Hip-hop
Urban music.
Yeah. You talk about, you know, when you talk about the Chronic and what that did for rap music, and you being maybe, you know, not getting all the accolades that you should have, but you know,
I'm great, man. I'm great.
You know what your contribution was.
What I'm glad for is that it's my family did it. You
right.
know what I mean, it wasn't an outsider that did it. You know, at the time I may have been a little, you know, bitter.
In your feelings a little bit back then.
You will get yours.
Right.
You know what I mean, you will eventually get yours, and now everything is coming full circle.
So now it's 2015. Tonight, Straight Outta Compton
is out.
I don't know where you're gonna be at 9:45, but I guess I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna tell you where I am, what theater I'm gonna be at, but I'm gonna be in the movie theater.
He gonna be there.
So, man, Dre dropped this album last week, and I'm telling you, it's like he was on some Michael Jackson. He shut the music industry down. That's all that folks were talking about. The marketing that was done. I mean, I think they may have hired the Jehovah's Witness door-to-door marketing team, because nobody goes harder than Jehovah's Witnesses, right?
You're right.
These cats' marketing was off the damn hook.
Who knew?
Tell me, now you're a part of this, not just the process, but now you're part of this album.
Yeah.
How did Dre reach out to you and say, I want you on this project?
Well, originally he just reached out to me because he was working on some songs and he wanted to see my vibe on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the old days. He just like, come through. I just want to holler at you, let you hear some things.
How long had you guys still been in conversation, or had it been a long time since you?
We was kind of back and forth between the process of them doing the movie and all that.
Right.
And he got really busy and everything. But once that kind of wrapped up and he was just focused on the music, he actually, me and Layla were writing, and Doc called and he was like, well, we in the studio working on some stuff. If y'all want to come down, cool, whatever. So I ended up reaching out to Dre, and Dre was like, well, come on through. I'm going to be in on Monday. Just come through. Tell me what you think. Shoot, from there, it was like 3 months. I was in there back and forth with
grinding.
Him, you know, grinding, yeah. And it's incredible, man. You know what I'm saying? Like 2.5, 3 months. I never seen, and it's funny because I never asked to be on the record, and he invited me on the record just on hanging out. Really.
Just being there, right.
Yeah, just being in the room, vibing like the old school.
And
like,
really,
get on this.
And really,
you know?
Wow.
And I would say, without him saying it, it's probably a way that he's showing you the respect from how you guys got down back in the day.
Absolutely.
He respect your ideas and your ear and all that stuff.
I think what people don't realize with Dre is like his love is music. You know what I mean? So if you connect with him on that, I think you're pretty much in with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we've, from the day we met in '88, we always clicked like that.
On musically.
And reuniting the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we love it. You know what I'm saying? We all we do is eat, sleep, and drink it. No matter how other the way the money comes in, he loves it like that. You
right.
know what I mean? And I think that's why I'm a part of it, because he respects my musical point of view, my
exactly
what I have inside of me.
Exactly.
Which is that's all I want people to respect me for, because that's what I'm here to do, make music.
So now with this song, Loose Cannons, is this the only song that you actually laid vocals on?
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
Yeah, that's it. I was in vibing on the other stuff.
Right, but this is the one. So Ron C, we got that dude.
Yes, when I got
Come on,
clean.
Straight Outta Compton. Oh,
I got it clean. Shout out to my man Ron.
Because I know you know what? Because we have such a legend here, I was willing to put our show on the line and not come back next week if they drop
your money.
No, don't even trip. I have to go back to slang and dope. Oh, did I say that? AM Caffeine Morning Show. AM Caffeine Morning Show exclusive. Crazy. Right there. Loose Cannons.
Exclusive. Yeah, Loose Cannons is like a movie, man.
Man, crazy. In the building, my man, Code 187 from Above the Law.
Mighty.
That's you an exhibit off the damn hook. Oh my God. Straight Outta Compton in the theaters tonight. I don't even know what to say. That song, I mean, it felt like I was watching a movie. Like that felt so theatrical.
Right, yeah.
How does it feel to be part of that?
Oh, that was incredible. I mean, because like I said, when I was coming in to work on Loose Cannons, I didn't know where it was gonna go.
Right.
And then eventually, after we got the vocals down, and then it turned into like a movie, like something really crazy. You know.
Oh my God. I'm in the theater tonight, Ron C.
Yeah.
Smooth D, y'all going? Like, if y'all don't support this, really,
no, I'm on it. I mean,
because you went to go see Vacation last weekend. I don't think there was any black people.
I love some Chevy Chase.
I do like Chevy Chase too.
I
do like Chevy Chase too. I gotta admit.
I can't say I've seen the movie. It's great.
I can't say I've seen it either. I've seen the
original.
original.
I've seen Straight Outta Compton, so go see it.
I'm there, 9:45.
Go see it tonight.
So
can I sneak in on your ticket?
As much as that ticket costs, hell no, you gotta put something on it, dude. That's an iPick theater, ain't no punk.
It's incredible, y'all.
So we have this movie tonight. You're part of this legendary album. Right. What else is coming up for you? What else?
Well, I'm working on my solo album right now, the Black Godfather album, Code 187. And then I got the Above the Law 25th anniversary album coming out. Which is me and Cam G did 26.
So this is something songs. That you had in a vault that you just never released.
Never released, yeah. And we're doing 3 different albums. We're doing 25 Years of Hustling first, and then we're doing a dedication album, and then we're doing a book with 10 songs in it. And so we're breaking all the songs down.
Right.
Me, DJ Chaos, and Cocaine now. We're doing that. And also me and Cocaine have the Architects of G-Funk coming out next year too. Which is crazy.
So you got a lot. It's a resurgence.
Yeah. The Black Godfather record, it has so many people on it. It's going to be crazy. I don't want to jinx it, but you know, it's going to be one of them West Coast killers. No.
I mean, that's what you are. You are Code 187.
We on fire right now, you know what I'm saying? And we appreciate everybody who's been, you know, buying the Compton album, you know, as well.
There you go, Ron C. Stop shooting people, dude.
They shooting.
Yeah. And then I got my own internet company now.
Real quick, how much time we have? Oh, let's talk about
Rock Boy Honeys.
Let's talk about the Rock Boy Honeys real quick.
That's my internet magazine. It should be coming out in October. I'm just trying to get everything together. What's going to happen, what it is, it's a magazine you can order online on my website, and you can get the actual magazine when you go online.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can either get it physically mailed to your house, or you can just download it straight to your iPad or whatever. You know.
I got a chance to see this, man. This
and
is the
flavors. Different flavors.
It's the perfect gentleman's magazine.
There you go. Yeah. And it's all different kind of women, all different nationalities, all shapes and sizes.
Wait.
So there's 7 different magazines in one. So
they cover sports, they cover everything. Yeah. But let me get I guess to tell you what, some of these females that he got there,
yeah, get you in trouble.
Oh, wait, I seen a nice nipple. AM Caffeine Morning Show.
But man, thanks for having me.
No, Code 187, and we are friends outside of this radio crap. And anything that I've ever asked of him, he's been there, dude. We have a song that we're not quite done yet, Ron C. Smooth
What happened
D.
with the song?
With Ralph, it's featuring Ralph Tresvant from the audition.
Everybody at my studio asked me about that song. They're like, what's up with that song?
I just need somebody else on the verse, and I'm working on it.
Okay. Okay,
But
I'm gonna leave it alone. 'Cause
yo,
it's hot.
without exaggeration, I sent it to him. He sent that joint back to me
Bam,
in a
bam.
day.
In a day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
No school.
That's dope though.
No, he
I mean,
kills it. And this will be the first
track
place
is
to hear
dope,
it.
Though. It's crazy.
Cole 187 from Above the Law and Ralph Tresvant from New Edition. Come on, I'll
It's
slap
crazy,
everybody in
though.
their
The
damn
song
mouth.
is crazy though. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, the
No,
song
it is.
crazy, dog.
AM Caffeine Morning Show once again. Thanks for rocking with us for this hour. Please go check out Straight Outta Compton
Yes,
tonight.
yes.
Pick up Dr. Dre's brand new album of Off the Hook.
Compton.
Compton. Oh, wait. It's how we get down right here. AM Caffeine Morning Show each and every Wednesday and Friday right here. UrbanSoulRadio.net, AcceleratorRadio.fm, TheIllNetwork.com, SniperSquadDJs.com,
That's right.
and TheMixShow.com. Dopest studio anywhere, huh? Smooth D, Ron C. What you guys got to say real quick?
I concur.
Ron C. You guys enjoy your weekend. And before we get up out of here, Smooth D, Ron C.
In your mouth.
Compton, Straight Outta Compton. Go support it.
Yeah.